Today I'm talking about my two absolute most favorite strategies in the whole thing. Okay, number one, and I didn't invent this one. This one's called BRRRR investing. BRRRR investing is tried and true acronym for buy, renovate, rent, refi, repeat. Okay, so you buy a property, it's usually all messed up, right? Like it needs, I don't know, $80,000 to $150,000 worth of work typically, right? So you're gonna fully renovate this property. Then once it's renovated, you can rent it out. Somebody's gonna move in, and then once it's producing cash flow and you've raised the value of it through your renovation and by renting it out, you're gonna refinance it. You refinance it and you pull the money out that you put in, and then the last R stands for repeat. Go do it again. It's great. Okay? Now, around here, it can be a little tricky to find a property where the numbers work just like that, where you're gonna be able to refinance 100% of your funds out of the deal. Unless you're really like 110% focused on finding those deals, you can definitely do it, and people do. However, if you're just kind of, you have a full-time job, you have family and all this, another way you can do is kind of, we call it a partial BRRRR, right? So partially. So you do the same strategy, except when you refinance, maybe you get 70% out of what you put in. It's still a great deal. It's still a great way to go about things. That's just another way to do it. So for BRRRR investing, you will need probably $150,000 to $200,000 to inject into this program to make this work, okay? So for people who don't have that much money and you're ready to get going now, I talk to people about BRRRR ownership, okay? This works great for anyone who is buying a house to live in, buying a property to live in, okay? Anyone who works with me who's talking about buying a house, or they're renting, they want to buy, or whatever the situation, we're going to buy a place to live. Cool. Have you heard about BRRRR ownership? And I actually did make this one up. I can say I made this up out of my own brain. BRRRR ownership stands for buy, reside, relocate, rent, repeat. Okay? So buy the property, reside in it, so move in, live there. Okay? Then relocate, move to another place, so like a year, 2 years later, buy another place, relocate, rent out the first one, and keep that going, okay? So when you live at the property, you could also kind of combine different strategies here, like the equity growth trifecta, etc., okay? Buy the property, reside in it, renovate it while you're there, so I can throw another R in there, reside, renovate, and then however long it takes you to save up another down payment, so at least a year typically is required for your owner-occupant loan. You have to live there for a year, but maybe it takes you 2 years or 3 years to save up another down payment. Okay, then you relocate, buy another property, keep the first one, and rent it out. Okay, so if you could do this every year for, let's say, 5 years, buy a new property, by the time you move out of that fifth one, you're into your sixth property, now you have 5 rental properties. And you are only putting like $15,000, $20,000 down on each one. So, I mean, it's crazy to leverage those owner-occupant loans and just strategically buy properties that will make good rentals. So that over the long term, in the long run, like, I mean, it's not even that long term. We're talking about 5, 6 years. Okay, it's not even that long of a time, depending on how old you are. If you're 28 right now, how old are you going to be in 5 years? 33. That's not that old, okay? So this approach is a spectacular way for everyone, every single person, to get involved in real estate investing and to build actual substantial wealth.